Hello everybody, I'm Indigo and welcome again to another reading with me. This is going to be a mid-monthly reading for November. First of all, I want to apologise for my previous reading. I don't know what it is. I made my account so I could upload videos longer than 15 minutes, but for some reason YouTube doesn't like me and YouTube doesn't want to let me upload videos that are any longer than 15 minutes. So this video is probably going to be in a few parts. Again, I apologise in advance. But yeah, something to be aware of. Also, sorry about the clutter here. I don't have a very big table and I can't really fit the whole spread in here. So I'm going to be picking the cards up and showing you what they are again. But yeah, it's just something to be aware of. I hope everyone's been having an okay month. It's been pretty intense for a lot of people, and this is a very intense reading actually, which I would love to share with you. So let's get started. This is going to be a twin flame reading for all of those who are in deep soul connection relationships and serious relationships, or you feel a great affinity with somebody, just being in love, and the whole reading just is going to focus on that basically. So yeah, beautiful thing. Bottom of the deck to start with, we had the Seven of Cups in reverse. Here we are, just to show you. So yeah, that's the Eight of Cups, not the Seven of Cups, excuse me. But yeah, that kind of sets the overall theme for the reading for me, which to me indicates a lot of confusion about where things are going right now for people and where we as individuals are going, with or without the other in regards to relationships here. Kind of indicating a fear of commitment and a fear of being tied to something, just not being able to be kind of nomadic with your life and to be kind of free to explore whether this is what you really want. The overall message here for me is knowing when to walk away from something and knowing when something is within your best interests, and how we come to that conclusion in love and ultimately for the love and appreciation of ourselves. So this is a time for people to go on a journey. This is the big message lately. There's a lot of shift happening and changes, and I can definitely see that in this whole spread, which I'm going to go into detail with now. So, first card we have for the masculine here is the World in reverse. The World in reverse. This is a major arcana card. Big energy here. With regard to reversal here, I see that a big sense of not being able to achieve his goals. Usually the World is its completion and completion and just feeling like you know what you're doing, but not in this sense. The masculine is in a growth stage right now. There's been a lot of sense of the masculine kind of retreating lately in a lot of readings, including my own that I do for other people. And I think he's really in a space where perhaps he's feeling like he needs to really figure out what it is he wants, not just for the relationship, but for himself. And this being at the top of the reading indicates a lot of change, possibly endings to things to make way for new beginnings. And I must say, I don't want to be negative, but from how some of the other cards here in this spread are being laid out, it would seem that there are a few cards that do point to a little bit of challenging times in the sense of relationships for the rest of the month. There's no ignoring this Ten of Swords energy at the top. You can't see that yet, but it's there, just preparing you. So yeah, we'll get to that. But the feminine meets that with the Four of Swords here in reversal. A lot of reversals in this spread, which to me kind of indicates, everyone's world is being turned upside down in a way. That's kind of, again, like a feeling of people's world being turned upside down and things not really going the way you think they're going to go. I'm going to put this incense out 1 second. Ooh. It's good incense. I don't want to use too much of it. But for the purpose of the reading, it's nice to have a little bit of the smoky feng shui. So yeah, Four of Swords energy in reversal. Yeah, this indicates a pause to me. Below her we have, as you can plainly see here, the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, and this, although coming before, is a follow-on or an extension of that possibly, to just pause and take some time out for yourself, whilst the masculine is obviously doing the same right now on the other side. yeah, it just feels like the feminine's been doing a lot of driving in the relationship, and perhaps this is really a message to her to just stop trying to force change. Sometimes, as hard as it is, we have to kind of sit back and just let things take their natural course, and that's love, letting go so it can come back, of course. And there is that feeling from the feminine, like there's a lack of progression here, as reflected with that world card from the masculine. And that's a change that the feminine is not in control of. But it's okay to take a break so that we can allow the energy to flow better sometimes. So the masculine comes in next here with the victory card, which is the Six of Wands. Great card. And he's riding towards the feminine. And I feel like, if the feminine can kind of achieve giving the masculine his freedom to be in his own, as again addressed recently in a lot of readings, he will feel more confident in the progression of things, possibly, and kind of approach the feminine. It's kind of like he feels like he can come to her now, instead of being away in his own world. If she can do that. It's kind of like if you tell somebody what to do or how to do it, they want to do it less, but if you let people come to the conclusions on their own, they feel better about doing it, or for being involved in something with you. Possibly he's also in a funk right now. I feel like the masculine just has a kind of funk going on. He's kind of in some weird place right now. I just get the feeling that masculine is kind of in this strange place for himself right now. There's things going on for him. There's a lot of things going on. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of self-worth at play here for the masculine, and he's finally discovering that, if that makes sense. And I feel like maybe he has a message for the feminine too, like he's riding towards her with confidence and delivering some kind of message for her, which she meets with the Three of Swords here. Possibly she's feeling a little bitter about the lack of recognition from the masculine recently. Perhaps she can't keep herself from feeling a little heartbroken because she's feeling like, well, where were you when I needed you? It's a two-way thing for her. Or possibly a three-way, as there are three swords here, which could indicate a love triangle for some people if you're already going through that. Perhaps some of you might be feeling as if there's not enough attention and consideration that was given to your corner of the relationship here. And it's a tough pill to swallow for you, for anybody, the rejection. But I don't think you should be taking it so personally, because I really do believe it's kind of been more about the masculine in himself rather than about his feelings for the feminine. I do believe he loves the feminine. There is love. There's definitely love there. There's just a lot of distraction of other things on his part. He's just kind of feeling like there's just so much going on for him right now, and how can he kind of give to something else when he has a lot of things to be dealing with right now, is the kind of feeling that I'm getting about it. It's natural, that sometimes we need a bit of time out to make sense of how we feel. So that's something to be aware of, to consider. As I said, with regard to that Six of Wands for the masculine, perhaps he's also found the confidence to tell the feminine something he couldn't before. And possibly that's something that's going to hurt her or make her feel as if she's been a little bit betrayed. But you have to embrace this feminine. If you truly love this person, you have to embrace the honesty of the masculine. Embrace that your twin flame is in a place where they can be totally open with you regardless of the outcome. This is another card of kind of release on an emotional level, a release of the heart, of all that negativity that's storing up inside. It has been an emotional time for the world lately. And sometimes just having a good cry can really help, So yeah, following that, we've got masculine coming in here with the Page of Wands in reversal again. Lots of reversals, as I said. So yeah, he is looking away from the feminine. Away. He's looking that way. You can't see because of my iPad. But yeah, no, he is looking away from the feminine. Like physically looking away from the feminine side. So yeah, as opposed to him riding in, he's now kind of looking out, which is a big sign for me. So to me, the reversal of that kind of means to me that, she doesn't take the news well that he has to tell her. And I refer back to my theory about the masculine having something to tell the feminine, because pages can be associated with messengers. And he retreats again. He goes back to feeling as if the approach is all wrong because of the current outcome. He loses confidence. He maybe feels like this is all too much responsibility for him, that someone else's heart and their feelings are too much responsibility for him. There is an air of immaturity there, immaturity or just lack of maturity in order to deal with something like a relationship. Um, Perhaps he was hoping that his honesty would be well received in expressing himself openly, but the reaction was that of, disparity, and now he feels, well, if that's not good enough for that person, then I'm not interested, and he kind of goes off and thinking it's better that he's on his own and away from it. I feel like he starts to kind of maybe play the victim card a little bit. You can't say something and be open with somebody and not expect a level of reaction. It's life. It's being a human being. So the masculine would do well to kind of, suck it up a little and turn around and have the, conviction to kind of look at the feminine directly and what she's feeling and why, just be understanding, be open. Excuse the cat down here if you can hear her. She's very loud. I'm sorry about that. A lot of this reading is kind of about, action and then reaction, action and then reaction, action, reaction, and how we play on that. So this is a story forming here. The feminine meets this with a big major arcana card in reversal. Again, I don't know what's up with those reversals, but again, I can only think it's because the world's been turned upside down recently. Holy crap, Donald Trump, president, what's up with that, right? Getting back to the reading though. Reversal, sun, major arcana, huge energy here. Usually a card of happiness and positivity and all that is warm and wonderful. And it still is. The sun is never a negative card. But in reversal, it's showing that the feminine is finding it very hard to be positive towards the masculine right now with regard to his attitude. And I'm not surprised, I'm not surprised that, she would feel that way with regard to his constant in and out, back and forth. It's frustrating. It is. It is frustrating. She has to be careful, not to be unrealistic about her situation with the masculine. I feel like it's very easy to assume he'll come back this way again because he's been doing it for so long now, but he's on a personal journey, and I feel as if he's lost the drive for going the journey with another person right now. I feel like maybe he's in a place where he needs to do this alone. That is what I'm getting from this reading. That's the message that I'm getting. This is a time where he feels he has to be by himself. So use the energy of that sun feminine to remain positive for yourself and for your future. But right now you have to be okay with letting the masculine be in his own place and perhaps not interfere too much in it. For the last reading I did for the beginning of the month, there was this message about putting too much emphasis on the other person, the relationship to provide happiness for your future, and that is something, again, to be wary of. If this person is going the other way, don't despair. Don't think they won't be back. If you love them, set them free for a little while. Let yourself be in that good energy and let the other person be where they want to be. That's very important. Hard to do, but important to master for any relationship. Because you can't force love, or you can't force participation. you can't force love, but participation, The masculine comes in with the Knight of Cups, or I should say goes away with the Knight of Cups in reversal again. So yeah, again, reversal, he is looking the other way, just like that page. Cups represent emotions, and as you can see, the Knight is facing away from the feminine along with that page of wands above, and similarly the feminine meets that with the Ace of Wands in reverse. All these reversals, I don't know where it's coming from, again, reversal. So yeah, and looking away from the masculine. So they're looking away from each other now. Unfortunately, there has been a collective shift here, and it's kind of resulted, I feel, or it will kind of result with maybe both parties kind of going their own separate ways. For some people, possibly. But yeah, the energies are focused away from each other, and I think maybe the feminine's kind of at the point now where she's feeling perhaps it's better to take my love elsewhere as well. If the Knight of Cups, if the masculine is going to be taking his love away from me and he's going to be going the other way, well, why am I still here? Maybe I should be taking my love elsewhere. Taking my attraction elsewhere, trying to break free from that sexual energy which connects us so strongly, because she can see that the masculine is not prepared to invest emotionally. And this card can also kind of tell us that it's not necessarily the right time for this to come to fruition, as indicated by that little flowering branch there. Kind of like seasons, you can't hope to grow your crops in the winter, and it is winter. So yeah, moving on to the middle, we have crowning, dun dun dun, the dreaded Ten of Swords. Yeah. uh, so yeah, Ten of Swords is an intense card. There's no getting around it, unfortunately. Um, as well as an end to things. But the number 10 also represents completion and a sense of wholeness. So it's about knowing, truly reaching a point where you feel, yes, perhaps defeated, but also the clarity has literally penetrated you. Like the swords have literally stabbed you. And you can't escape from that. So, in a positive sense, although coming to a decision in a relationship can be very painful, and although perhaps knowing information you didn't before, maybe with that message that the masculine has for the feminine there, can be painful. Um, the knowing, and in reaching this point is going to mean that you can move on, and this is kind of the card that says, from here, I can only go up. It can't get any worse, or I can't feel any worse about it, so now the only way I can go is forward. I have to get up now, bandage my wounds, and kind of get on with it, It's a very powerful card, the Ten of Swords. Very easily misrepresented as well, I feel, because of the kind of graphic nature of it, It can be a little disconcerting, for sure, but remember the strong and uplifting message this card ultimately carries. That we can take a lot, that we are powerful, and sometimes we forget how strong we are. Which is really nicely mirrored in another really big energy, another major arcana card in strength. And I'm not sure, I can't remember, I think this may have even been the overriding theme card for the reading from the beginning of November. But yes, great card, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful card. It's a great card that really mirrors that Ten of Swords, in choosing to be strong, choosing not to let a relationship define you or anything else, choosing and knowing strength and embracing that it is within you